Welcome to the business of being healthy, where we are passionate about treating our health as good as we treat our wealth. Shelly Bryan here, and I am obsessed with sharing real-life experiences and wisdom to help save you time, heartache, and money as you continue to grow personally and professionally. Twice a week, we push aside that BS to take massive intentional action. And I promise by tuning in, you will receive the straightforward talk you've been waiting for, filled with actionable steps that will inspire you to achieve the health and wealth you desire while you are building your empire. Well, welcome back, Business of Being Healthy listeners. I am so excited that you came back to join me for today's episode because I know this is one of those that's going to save you lots of time plus lots of money. Let me get into it though. My name is Shelly Bryan. If this is your first time listening in, welcome to the show. I am so excited that you found us. Don't forget to share however you found. That's always the ask that I have. But I want to ask you guys, when you are driving or whatever you're doing and you get this great idea, and then all of a sudden you're like going throughout your day, or you get that phone call or something else happens and you're like, what was that idea? I completely forgot it. Has that ever happened to you? I'm over here raising my hand because that used to happen to me all the time. And one thing that I used to do was text it to myself. Right? I don't know how many of you out there do the same thing, but I text it to myself and then I think, okay, I'll put that in my to-do or get it on my calendar later. Or if you were like one of my friends who runs a multi-million-dollar medical practice, she has what she lovingly calls, or used to call, I should say, her Post-it system. Literally, there was every color of Post-it all over her office, all over her computers, everywhere, but it was like her way of organizing her ideas and thoughts. It always made me smile when we would have fun Zoom calls. But today's episode, I want to share with you how to not let your ideas get lost in that sea of text messages, because how often do we go back and scroll, or Post-its. So I want to share with you a hack that I started just this year in 2023, and literally it has been a game changer for me. And my friend who I referred to earlier actually implemented a similar system. And so I thought, I know that my listeners are active. I know that they're entrepreneurs and business owners, busy moms. We are doing all the things that maybe this hack can help you too. So I'm going to kind of pair this into two sections. Is one, we need to recognize when we're having these ideas, because these ideas are great and we definitely don't want to lose when they are happening, because sometimes you might be surprised when your creativity hits you. And then number two is what options are available to upgrade your idea capturing system. Right? That sounds like a lot, big system. It is not. So I actually went through a few different options and I have pros and cons on each ones. I'll share what I do. I'll share what my friend and previous client has done, and just give you guys a different way, because we cannot lose these ideas. So I have shared on other podcast episodes that this year alone, a lot of my ideas, a lot of my creativity is actually stemming during my workout or during my cardio, during my weightlifting, and or right after. So that activity is spurring a ton of creativity. And last year I would text myself and then I'd go on with my day, and then I'd text myself, and then all of a sudden I'd be like, oh man, what was that great idea? I don't know where it is. I'd have to scroll back on all the text messages that I've been sending myself, and I wouldn't really have much context because I was just capturing it quickly. Now, maybe you're driving. I know that when I worked in the pharmaceutical industry, I was driving all day long. And when you're driving, maybe you're thinking about something else or listening to a podcast, and that spurs an idea, or having a great conversation with a colleague or old friend, and it spurs this great idea. So maybe you're driving. Maybe it's when you're at night and kind of calming down for the day, or making dinner for your family, right? It could be that kind of quiet time where you're just focused on making dinner. Or maybe it's like me when you're exercising on the treadmill. The key thing here is that you want to figure out when those ideas happen. And if you've been like me texting, you can look back at all those timestamps because maybe you captured them right then, sent yourself the text message, and you can look right there when you sent them and think back, what was I doing at that point in the day? Was I making breakfast, driving to work? All of those examples I gave. So understand when it's happening. The reason why we need to understand when your ideas, when your creativity is at its height is because that might help select which tool is best for you. So here are a few options that I have found, and then I am also going to share what I am doing. So the first one is having a Google Doc open, ready to go to capture all your ideas. So this could even be like, I know there's different apps like Notes apps, Evernote, or even voice capturing as well. So that would be kind of that online or app-centered Google Doc that you can have in your phone. So some pros is that doc can be running as often as you want. It can be available to be accessed anywhere. Literally, this is the system that I use, is having that Google Doc. I titled it 2023 Ideas Notes. And every day I add at the top, I put the date. And if I'm on the treadmill, I'll walk, capture my idea if I'm listening to a great podcast episode. And I can copy links, like if I'm reading something, or maybe I'm scrolling on Instagram and I see something and I'm like, oh, I want to look at this later. I can capture the link, throw it right into the doc. Also, with podcasting, maybe there's a certain idea where I got the idea from that podcast episode I'm listening to. I can actually copy the link, put my idea down, copy the link, and I can even put the time in that episode so that if I want to refer back to it, I have it all ready to go. So what's nice about this Google Doc is that it's just something that is in your phone. It transfers onto your computer as well. It's just so easy. And another tip or another pro is that you can actually use voice texting on your phone as well. So if you're driving, obviously I do not want you to text and drive, but you can use the voice texting and capture it. Now, the con of using the Google Doc is that you then have to transfer it to its proper place if you so choose. So what I mean by that is like maybe it was schedule an appointment. Maybe it was, for me, I get a lot of podcast episode ideas when I'm running. And so I will then create like a separate doc and then write down some more notes there. But the good thing is that I always have it in that main flowing doc so that I can always refer back to it and any links that I put there. So another option is like some type of task management software like Slack or Teamwork, Basecamp, Asana, Trello, all of those out there. So like some pros is that it's already in there. The task is set, right? If you wanted to create a task like, oh, I needed my to-do list, or I need to not forget this to pick up on the way home at Target, right? And try to leave the store for under $100. That's another episode. But it's one of those things that these softwares, they already have it in there. And then once it's in there, you just need to organize it. So one con about these is like you could have so many that then you're managing all these different task management softwares. However, it's not necessarily an idea capture. Sometimes they have them in there, like task, you could send it to yourself. You could send it to maybe your assistant to schedule. Different things can be good, but it's not like ideas tracking, free flow tracking, almost like journaling. That's what I want you to think of with this, is that you're just journaling your notes rather than writing it down. You're creating a system to be able to journal these notes and these ideas. So another con is that it's just more systems to manage. I know that we all have so many systems to manage in there, but again, ideas aren't necessarily tasks. And so you might have to hibernate it or save it elsewhere if you put it in one of these systems. Now, My friend that I shared earlier, she actually uses Trello for her business. So she was able to create an entirely different section where she is now able to capture all of her notes, get rid of all of her Post-its, and keep everything in Trello because that's where she manages from. So I wanted to make sure that I share that with you because that is actual practical proof of her within her practice, within the multiple businesses that she's running, is that she uses one of these softwares. Currently, for our businesses, we use Slack, Teamwork, and Basecamp. So I actually have 3 systems. However, these systems are with different teams, with different businesses. And I wanted my free-flowing, idea-catching opportunity. And that, for me, has been the Google Doc. Both are great options. Neither one is bad. And then the last one is just one of those, I feel like it's just like an oldie, but a goodie. And so I don't want to not mention it. And that is, of course, Outlook, right? If you are using Outlook or any type of email system, right, you can create a Google task list or the Outlook task list. You can set those reminders. You can send yourself emails if you prefer to do that. That's all in one spot. Now, again, the main thing here is that we don't want to just create task lists. We actually want an opportunity to create and to grab those ideas that maybe are your next business idea or your next idea to help a client or your next person that you really need to find to be able to connect with to take your business to the next level. So my whole goal with sharing this quick episode with you is to share my personal example. This has literally been a game changer, and I love this document, this Google Doc that I've created as a journal to capture so much information no matter what I'm doing. So I have significant drive time where I live to where I have to, take the kids to sports, meet colleagues for different appointments and meetings. And so I love the voice text option. I love the fact that I can do it. I can take notes on the treadmill where I am getting the most ideas. And so I needed my system to match that. So again, uncover where and when you're having the most ideas and perhaps let that decide which system you implement. I hope that today I was able to provide just some insight, share this hack that has saved me and helped me become even more productive within my day and helped my friend eliminate the thousands of Post-its. So if you found value in this, I hope that you share it with someone else. I'm sure you could think of that friend that always texts herself or himself, or maybe you have that friend that you walk into their office and you see the sea of Post-its. Maybe share this episode with them and help them capture all of their ideas so that they do not lose a single one. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I can't wait for you guys to come back twice a week where I am dropping those episodes, one with an expert guest and then one quick solo one where I am sharing bits and pieces of wisdom with you.